It's 19 minutes to 6. It's BBC Radio Oxford. I'm Edward Adu. It's time for us to do this. Find out what's going on with the latest film releases, and Van Connor is here to guide us through them. Van, how you doing?
Evening, Ed. Can't complain. How goes it?
Not too bad. I haven't heard anyone say that for ages. How goes it? I think the last time I said that to someone...
I like to be a throwback.
Listen, loving throwbacks. Is everything well with you, my friend?
Can't possibly complain. You know what? I got a movie with the Foo Fighters in this week. So, my world's looking up. But I don't get to talk about that one first. I got to talk about the one that the audiences are actually going to show up for with Jim Broadbent.
Yeah. So, I mean, is it a good time at the moment for film releases?
There's some gems out there. There's a certain movie coming our way next week that I can't possibly talk about yet that involves a man who dresses up like a flying rodent. I hear that might be popular. You might see that in cinemas very, very shortly.
Well, hopefully, because I haven't been to the cinema for a long time. I mean, I've got vouchers from a particular cinema brand for something that happened a while back, and they've reissued them, and I've still got them. I've got quite a few, so I need to take my brother to go and watch a film.
Well, in that case, you're in luck that The Batman is upon us next week.
I knew I'd get it out of you. Yes. What else is going on?
So we've got The Duke to talk about this week, which is this is an adaptation. Well, it's not an adaptation. This is a chronicle of an actual true story. This was a very famous art theft in the early 60s from the National Gallery. This was Goya's portrait of the Duke of Wellington, and it was stolen mysteriously and then discovered in the possession of an old man named Kempton Bunton, who's here played by Jim Broadbent. But how could this old man possibly have climbed into the National Portrait Gallery and lifted an entire portrait out? It doesn't make sense. But Jim Broadbent's here to give you the fictionalized story, and in it, Fionn Whitehead from Dunkirk is his son, Helen Mirren is his wife, and I've got a clip for you of the father and son talking about this particular misdeed.
I give them the patent, they put on an exhibition, charge the public to see the Duke and give me the proceeds. Bingo!
How much does an exhibition raise?
30,000? 50,000? Who knows? The patent's not been out the news, has it? I'll be able to pay for God knows how many TV licenses.
You're not really going to use it all on telly licenses.
Why not?
Just saying, who couldn't make use of a couple of grand?
You think Robin Hood took a rake off?
Aye.
Jackie, Robin Hood.
What if they're in it with the coppers? You give them the painting, they don't cuff up, and they shop you?
The Mirror. This is the workers' paper, Jackie lad.
So Van, that's the Duke there. So yeah, I would say a humorous clip, and definitely worth checking out.
Definitely, it's one of those. It's nothing revelatory. You have kind of seen this before, but it's Jim Broadbent being charming and Helen Mirren on giving always dependable support. It's one of those things. It's going to do gangbusters when it hits Film 4 in a couple of years' time, at like 7 p.m. on a Thursday. But for now, if you want something that's not that challenging, or you want to get away from The Batman next weekend, which is probably going to be a thing, because that's going to pack the place. I suspect, regardless of whatever you think of its quality, that's going to pack the place out. I think this is going to work as very nice counter-programming as well.
Yep. No, definitely. My brother wants... You've put me on the spot. My brother is listening to us now, so that's promise. I'm going to take him. We're going to go and watch that.
You're on the hook now.
Yeah, exactly. Another recommendation. What are you going for?
Right, Studio 666. Okay, this is a horror comedy starring the Foo Fighters as fictionalized versions of themselves. So Dave and the boys basically play themselves on the cusp of recording their 10th studio album. They are feeling creatively bankrupt. They are uninspired. They have writer's block. They have just creative drought across the board. And in order to inspire the creative muses, they move into this house that they don't realize is an infamous murder house in which a band went nuts decades earlier in the 1990s and killed one another. And in this particular case, the house takes its toll on Dave himself, who then gets possessed and sets about murdering the other members of the band one by one. I've got a clip for you from the trailer to set the tone nicely.
Hey you feeling? Everything okay?
Ever since we moved into this house, my mind is flooded. We all have writer's block.
This is not just a creepy rock and roll house. It allows spiritual entities to cross into our world.
Oh my God! Dude has got one flew over the cuckoo's nest crazy. It's this place, man. Let's finish the track. Can't we just wait, dude?
Hang on a minute. Was that Claw from Inspector Gadget? Is he resurfaced in working with bands? What is that? Sounded like Claw from Inspector Gadget.
You know what? I can tell you there is one 80s icon legitimately who does appear in this movie. Technically, two, if we count John Carpenter, because John Carpenter cameos here as someone just mixing their albums strangely. So there are some real throwbacks in this. But, you know, it's the Foo Fighters. Who doesn't love the Foo Fighters? It doesn't quite sustain the gag because it's about an hour and 45 minutes long. So it's way too long to carry the very, very thin premise. But if you're looking for sort of beer and pizza night kind of chuckle fest with some gore, look no further with a Foo Fighters soundtrack.
Gosh. Van, where could people go to find out more about your reviews and what you're all about?
You can find me every Friday morning on podcast platforms on the Off-Screen Show, sir.
Van, lovely to talk to you. And you'll be back next week with Adam.
Be my absolute pleasure to do so, sir. Until the next time.
Have a great weekend. Lovely to talk to you.